Hello and welcome to June's energy forecast. Well, we have had quite the May. It has felt like we have been pulled in many directions and there's been many demands placed on our time. And that really, from the outside, is not going to change too much for June. And that's why it's really important that you listen into the forecast this month so that you can figure out how to really take advantage of June. I want to remind you too that if you want to visit my website at laurawarrenmedium.com, you can subscribe to my newsletter right there. It pops up on the page, get a free meditation guide, and then you're always tuned in, dialed into everything that's happening and all the current events that are going on. So, there is a lot in June, but honestly, when I pulled the cards today, everything comes back to rest, recharging, rejuvenation, reorganizing, prioritizing. It was kind of eye-opening for me because we have been in this doing phase. We've been in this production, like produce, get things done, move forward, have something to show for your work. And so, because we've been in that phase for so long, I think we're getting kind of used to the pace, but also really tired. And personally, like I've been feeling that in my work as well, that it is time. The well is running dry. It's time to have some time to recharge. And so, the some of the things that you can do and some of the things you want to look at for June is to make sure that you're looking at things from different angles because that's the thing. We can try to keep doing things the same way all the time, but then we're not actually learning anything. We're not actually growing. And so things can actually seem quite tedious if we continue on that path. And we're really being asked to look at different angles, try things from a different perspective, and have a richer experience. And remember, when you try things from a different perspective, it adds to the depth of the experience and it can really help you feel like you understand something on a deeper level. So it's really important that you do that. It gives you a deeper sense of knowing and trust in yourself. Now, one of the ways that we can alleviate some of this feeling, like we've been pushed, we've been pulled, there's been demands placed on us by work, family, friends that we're just trying to keep up. And really, we need to refocus back to understand that we work with the universe. We partner with the universe, that we're not in this by ourselves. And I think a lot of times we forget. We keep going and going and going, thinking that we can make everything happen for ourselves. And we're not really even in charge. The universe is leading us, the universe is guiding us and opening doors and closing doors when they need to be closed. So June might feel a little bit like, okay, a lot of these doors are closing. There might be some relationships ending, but we have to let the universe work. We have to allow the universe to partner with us. So that means also leaving blank space for the universe to work, meaning that you don't have to figure out everything. You don't have to be in charge all the time, and you don't have to do all the work. The universe is much more powerful than you. Let the universe bring opportunities to you or close doors. Let that happen. It takes less effort. We feel like we don't have to push. And then the universe, the power of the universe. I mean, we can't compare. We can't compete with that. So it's really important to remember that in June, you're going to have this feeling like, oh, I just don't know how much longer I can keep this pace up, or I don't know how much more I can do. We're really craving some time. And if you're feeling pressed, like you don't have a lot of time to recharge or look after yourself, you really have to make it because it is time. It is time we're feeling like we need a break. Really important too to think about where you're going at this point. So if you've been working hard on things, is it time to refocus that project? Is it time to reprioritize, maybe even declutter your home. Because I think a lot of times we get caught in the same patterns and we don't think that we have to change anything or do anything differently. And absolutely, June is pushing you to do that. So it might actually feel like if you're continuing in the doing and trying to be productive, it might actually feel like you hit a bunch of barriers and that things aren't really working or flowing, or you might hit technical barriers or even personal barriers with other people or within yourself. So just important to remember that if every door seems to be closing, there's a reason. It is time to go within and it is time to fill your well. Your well is empty. And right now, I couldn't believe how many cards came up that were all connected to rest and recharging. And it is important to refocus our priorities and to really make sure our intention is like just razor thin, just fitting through the eye of a needle. Our intention right now is important to refocus for the rest of the year if you really want to you know, take advantage of the energy that is 2024, because 2024 is a very productive year, lots of things happening, but we have to fine tune our intentions sometimes because we have taken on most of us have taken on too many projects this year because of this productive energy, this push to get things done and produce things. And so it's really important to remember that refocusing sometimes goes back to honoring your sacred self and honoring who you are. You have to know what you are dreaming about, what you desire, because everything begins with a dream or a desire. And so everything you're doing has to come from that place. Otherwise, if it's just something you're doing because you have to do it, it will be very hard to continue that task. We need to stop overdoing things, stop overthinking things. And that's why the universe is so great, because the universe is there to take the load and help you, and you can, put down all your responsibilities for a little bit so you can rest and recharge. You may also find in June that there are some reconciliations happening. And just as there are reconciliations happening, you are also being asked to let go of things that aren't working and to move on. So you may find people coming into your life in June that haven't been around for a while, or there's an apology, or there is some repairing of a relationship. That may happen. Somebody may come in from your past and want to talk to you or want to settle things. But also in June, there is a strong energy to let go of the relationships that are not serving you. So you may actually have some doors, as I said, close in June. And the trust that that is not the best place for you to be right now is what you have to have in order to let the universe do its work. So those are kind of the heaviest parts. The thing that I like the most is that through all this, we are transmuting pain, meaning we are taking pain and we are turning it into something valuable, something good. And what we can do in June, the energy is favorable to take anything that's causing you pain and let it go. When we say let it go, we don't mean forget. Sometimes we don't even mean forgive. Sometimes we just mean having gratitude for an experience and knowing that everything is supposed to happen the way it does. And there is value in everything. So everything that happens to you has value to your soul growth and just your growth as a person and teaching you things about yourself. So this month, pay attention to how you feel within your personal power. And if your personal power is feeling a little low, it's time to look at the things that have caused you pain. If it's a person, it's a good time to say thank you and have gratitude for that experience, have gratitude for what they may have taught you, even for how they made you feel, because sometimes it's just a learning that it's what you don't want. You don't want that in the future, but it's still a learning and you can still say thank you. And then that will bring back your personal power and also create freedom for you. Freedom in your life, freedom for the rest of this year. Everything has value. So just remember that everything that's happening to you is important, but there is a strong, strong highlight in June for rest and recharging and also reconciliation. So looking forward to seeing some people maybe from our past come forward and settle some things with us and give us some closure. And closure is very important. We all need that. So, knowing that we are coming up on some of the most busy vacation months, please take time for you. Take time to fill your well, look deep in your heart, and see where you need to make change. And it's a great, great month to turn it over to the universe and say, hey, universe, take this and do what you can with it. I'm trusting you to do what's in my highest good and in my best intention. So that's what we have for June. I hope you all have a wonderful month and get to enjoy some time with family and friends to recharge. See you next month.